Today, here in Newsrip, I'll be examining the recent wave of defections in Nigeria's opposition parties, how they expose a profound absence of ideology, and what that entails for the many Nigerians suffering under policies like the removal of fuel subsidies. Nigerians need alternative. There's no doubt about that. They need their representatives to speak up for them in this harsh economic situation. However, over the past year or so, Nigeria has seen a steady and accelerating migration of politicians from opposition parties like the PDP, Labour Party, NNPP, and the likes into the ruling party, which is the APC. Whether it is senators from KB or governors or high-profile politicians who once rode to power on opposition ticket. The recent ones being the governor of Enugu State, who just decamped from PDP to APC. Let us watch some clips from his official decamping to the ruling All Progressives Congress. And I'll be back.
Today, after a long reflection, we have made the decision to leave the People's Democratic Party and join the All Progressives Congress. Thank you. On your mandate we shall stand. On your mandate we shall stand. On your mandate, on your mandate, on your mandate we shall stand. On your mandate we shall stand. On your mandate we shall stand. Thank you. This is no whimsical decision. It is a collective move by the political family in Enugu State, comprising members of the National Assembly, members of the State House of Assembly, the State Executive Council, all the local government chairmen, all councillors, all political appointees, and over 80% of party executives.
He is not alone. Barely 24 hours after he decamped, his Bayelsa state counterpart, Joe Odiri, and members of his State House of Assembly have also decamped to the APC. What is chasing them? Watch the highlight here, and I'll be right back.
My membership of the People's Democratic Party. And I'm not going to resign alone. And as you can see, I'm here with Mr. Speaker, Deputy Speaker, and all the members of our party who are going to go with me. There are some who are not here because they are on official assignments. And so today, I have formally resigned my membership of the People's Democratic Party for very obvious reasons. I'm grateful to all my friends and supporters who have stood by us and with us. And I want to thank all of you again and again. And together, we will continue to build a strong and virile Bayelsa state and a strong and virile country by extension. Once again, I appreciate you. I thank you all, and may God bless Bayelsa State. Thank you.
When asked, many defectors cite internal crises in their former parties. Some say they are being sidelined or that they are seeing brighter prospects in the ruling party. But many political analysts see something deeper than that mere explanation, a lack of coherent ideological commitment or policy platform that binds parties together. But my own question is this: what kind of politicians do we have that cannot stay back to fix their party? If our representatives lack the capacity to fix issues within their own political party, how then do they intend to fix Nigeria's problem? If issues in their own party is way too much for them. In most mature democracies, political parties are distinguished by ideology. That is, their vision for how the social or the society should be organized, how the economy should serve its people, and what values it holds. That is, values of equality, values of liberty, social welfare, and so on. Nigeria's parties often don't operate this way. Parties have weak or vague manifestos. Sometimes they borrow similar slogans from other political parties. There is little consistency in what opposition parties say after elections compared to what they do. For instance, many promise alternatives or critics but have shown few concrete policy proposals when in a position to influence debate. They don't. And because ideology is slim, what often matters most is success or access to power, patronage, or resources. Their concern is who can deliver appointments, who can deliver contracts, influence, or fiscal largesse. That means the ruling party, it is only the ruling party that can control much of the state machinery. It is the only party that has a powerful magnetic pull, and that is why they rush into it. This vacuum around values and ideas makes it easy for politicians to defect. It's so easy. If being in opposition or in power makes little real difference to one's personal interest, then the choice becomes purely transactional and not representing the interest of the masses. The masses are left on their own. While politicians switch allegiances, ordinary Nigerians have been bearing the cost of major policy formulations and implementations, most notably the removal of fuel subsidies and its attendant economic reforms and hardship. And Nigerians have been complaining, they have been wailing. So who speak on their behalf? The removal of the subsidy was supposed to free up huge sums of money for government expenditure. But in practice, fuel price hike has rippled through the cost of transportation, the cost of food, energy, goods, and virtually everything. Inflation spikes has become a reality. Many Nigerians, especially the low and middle income households, feel squeezed. The cost of living has grown up, multiply. Why their income does not stretch with it? It is stagnant. The income is stagnant. Palliatives and proposed relief measures are often insufficient or slow. As a result of government policies, the gap between what was promised or anticipated and what the people experience becomes stark. In this context, opposition parties should, if they were ideologically grounded, they're supposed to play a powerful role by providing policy alternatives, advocate for the vulnerable, mobilize public debate, challenge unjust laws. But many have not. They have rather joined the trend, and the masses that voted them into positions are left stranded. They're on their own. Masses are totally on their own. Who is fighting for their interests? There is no compelling counter vision. Opposition parties have generally failed. to represent or to present credible and detailed alternative policies. For example, when subsidy removal became inevitable in some quarters, there was little in the way of fleshed out strategies from opposition parties to cushion the blow or outline how the outcome should be measured and guided. They failed to do that. Instead of joining forces around issues, opposition parties are often consumed by internal leadership disputes, legalities, and infighting. That is what characterizes the oppositions in Nigeria. The focus seems to be more on what individuals gain. That is power, appointment, and contract, rather than what the populace suffers or needs. Political survival often trumps over principles. Threats of mass protests, strikes, and anger over cost of living, rising fuel prices, and inflation are real and widespread, but opposition parties struggle to convert that discontent into sustained political pressure, reform, or coherent policy direction. Civil society sometimes leads where parties are supposed to. They are the ones that sometimes stand in for the masses. The implications of all this to our nascent democracy and for the people is that as the first defections pile up, the opposition becomes hollowed, less able to hold the government to account. The legislature and public institutions lose the balance that is essential to democracy. Without ideological clarity, voters are left with fewer meaningful choices. Elections become less about values and policies, but more about who is more powerful, who can deliver a short-term material benefit. That's exactly what they are after. And that deepens cynicism. Policies like subsidy removal, currency devaluation, inflationary pressures may continue unchecked because opposition parties are less capable of mounting a consistent, principled critique or rallying the public toward alternatives. They lack that. Under the current circumstances, social unrest risk increases. When people feel no political anchor or that all parties are more or less the same, they may resort to protests, strikes, or other forms of unrest. Even worse, and frustration may lead to apathy. So we need to watch out for the next general elections, how the outcome is going to be. In News Rip, I balance debate with suggestions. I don't just talk. We try to balance it with suggestions on the way forward. Then the opposition parties must go beyond slogans. They need clear proposals on how fuel subsidy removal should be faced, how relief should be provided, how the vulnerable are protected, and how inflation is tackled. They must articulate visions for how Nigerians should be governed, not just opposing as default. They must come out to clear vision. Opposition parties should strengthen internal democracy because if parties are internally undemocratic, if leaders decide everything, if members feel sidelined, people will drift. It is obvious, people will drift. Defections often occur because individuals feel they are not heard or cannot advance unless they join the ruling party. So there should be a mechanism in place that will check that, keep them where they are. There should be reforms to discourage opportunistic defections, that is, party hopping, without determining or undermining freedom of association. There should also be more transparent regulation of how elected officials move between parties, possibly requiring resignations or re-elections when big defections occur. That will serve as deterrent to any other politicians, especially the high-class politicians like the governors who are defecting. Opposition parties should be more visible on the side of the suffering majority. More public hearings, listening tours, and grassroots mobilization should happen. It should come in place. It is not enough to be against policy. The opposition must show how they propose to protect people, and that is when they will win the trust of the masses. Given Nigerians' rich diversity and regional divide, opposition parties may find strength in forming issue-based or value-based coalitions, especially around economic justice, democratic norms, and anti-corruption crusade. It is possible if they are ready to take things from that angle. The current wave of defections in Nigeria's political space is more than just a shifting of political winds. It is a symptom of deeper pathologies that include lack of ideology, weak opposition, patronage politics, and inattention to the really suffering of the masses. And unless opposition parties stop treating politics as a game of survival and start treating it as a platform for real change, Nigerians will continue to groan under policies from which they derive little benefit from. For example, the first subsidy removal and inflation, they derive little benefit from it and economic hardship. They are not just policy issues, they are moral issues as well. For our democracy to mean anything, politicians must show they believe in something bigger than themselves. Thank you for watching. Please drop your comments below and subscribe to Newsrip for more information.